Yo, what's up everybody? The 808 is one of the most important parts of modern hip-hop beats, so getting them right can change an absolute trash beat to a banger. So today I will help you with that. In this video, I'm going to go through all the different steps you need to get your 808s to sound nice and clean. So let's get right on to the first step. So the first step is to find the right 808. Finding the right 808 is not up to personal preference, and it also depends a lot on what type of beat you're making. And sometimes it can be really hard to find the right 808 because sometimes you just get lost in the sauce in all the different types of 808s. But there are two in particular that I want to talk about that has been used by everybody for the last like 5 years, and that is the spins and the say 808. Those two 808s, they're always good to fall back on if all other 808s fail. But that's why they're so good, because they always work on any beat almost. Alright, so now it's time to move on to the next step. And that is to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Because if you do that, your 808s are gonna sound 10 times better, I promise you. Nah, I'm joking, but it would be very much appreciated. So thank you if you did. Also, if you keep watching this video, I have a little present for you, so just keep watching. Okay, so now it's time to put the 808s into our project. So I have dragged in a loop so I can make some 808s on top of this. So this is what the loop sounds like. The first thing that you want to do before adding 808s, or at least I usually do this, is that you send your melody to a mixer channel and then you smack on an EQ and just cut out the lows at around 120 to 150, just like that. Because the 808s are gonna be in this space right here, so we don't want the melody and the 808 to fight for that space. Then the whole mix will sound muddy and it's not good. Now I'm gonna drag in my 808. I would like to use a say 808 for this one right here. Okay, so now that you have your 808s in, there's another thing that I recommend that you do, and that is that you right click on your 808 and press cut itself. So what this does is basically makes so only one 808 can play at the time. So two 808s aren't gonna overlap and make the mix completely muddy and useless. But if you have a little extra time on your hands, you can also go a step further and get even more control over your 808s. Now, how you do this is you click on your 808, then you click up in this little triangle thing right here, and then you turn all of these knobs down except for the hold knob, which you're gonna turn all the way up. So now you have full control over whenever the 808 stops. As you can see right here, it stops whenever the little note stops, if that makes sense. So now that it's done, it's finally time to start placing in some 808s. So let's go. If you didn't already know this, 808s, they need to be in tune and they need to be in the right key and all of that, because otherwise they will sound completely horrible. So when it comes to placing down your 808s, you want your 808s to follow the root notes of your melody. And if you don't know what root notes are, when you have a melody, there's usually some sort of chords in there. Then it is most of the time, it's the bottom of those notes. That is the root note or the bass note. And you're just gonna want to follow those notes with the 808s. So for example, I've just made this little chord progression right here, but it's super smart because in FL Studio, you don't even have to remember these notes right here because you can just see the ghost notes. So you can just follow those notes and press right here and there and there. And now this should sound perfect. But then you might ask,
Jacob, what if I have a loop where I can't see these ghost notes?
Well, I know there are ways where you can convert a loop or a sample to MIDI, but I don't know how to do that. There is a smart trick that can help you a little bit, and that is, instead of making your 808s down in the lower octaves, if you make them higher up, then it's gonna be much easier to hear what notes are actually playing. So now I'm gonna use that trick to find the bass notes of this loop right here. Let's go. Alright, there we go. Now before we move any further, I want to give you that gift that I was talking about. And that is, I've made a little stash kit of all the 808s that I think you need to get started, and just all types of 808s that I feel like everybody needs and deserves. So there's a Google Drive link in the description where you can go and download it. Now I could just keep it this simple, but for this beat, I would like to have some more notes playing and a little more going on. So now I'm just sparsely gonna add some more 808s. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just gonna pitch it down. 2 semitones, there we go. This is also one of the things I want to talk about when making 808s, and that is where the range should be, where your 808 should be. I find that anything from like A sharp down here to A sharp up there it's usually no problemo. Sometimes I even pitch down my whole melody a bit or pitch it up a bit to make the 808s fit better in that range. So this is what it sounds like now. One thing I like to do when adding these notes right here is I like to think of the 808 as being like a vibration in your body. So like you really want to place your 808s where they like feel good almost. And that's why you also don't want to use too many 808s, because otherwise it can also ruin the bounce a bit. So sometimes spending a bit of extra time on getting the right bounce can be crucial to making a nice beat. So I feel like it's sounding pretty good right now, but I also want to show you a few tricks you can do to spice up your 808 patterns a little bit as well. So the first one is to add a little bit of an 808 roll. So right here I'm just gonna make a little triplet roll. So I'm gonna go up here into the magnet and press on 1/6, and then I'm just gonna place these notes in right there. But now I also want to do like a little velocity thing, so the volume is like going up, if that makes sense. There we go. And the second little trick I'm gonna use is I want to make like a little sliding 808. So the way I'm gonna do that is I want this note to slide up to this note right here. So I'm gonna place a slide note by pressing S or pressing this little triangle thing right up here. This makes a slide note. I'm gonna place a note right here, and then I'm gonna take this bottom note right here and turn the velocity all the way down like this. So you're only gonna be able to hear that sliding note. Alright, that's sounding perfect right there. Now there's only one thing left I want to show you, and that is how you can make your 808s smack even harder. So what you want to do is you want to go into your 808 again and press on this little switch right here, and then it is this boost knob right here that you want to just turn up just a little bit. Even though it's only a tiny amount I've boosted it, it's now gonna sound a lot harder. The last thing I like to do is I always have a soft clipper on my master where the threshold is turned all the way up. This is just to make sure that the beat is never gonna clip over 0 decibels. So as you can see, it's gonna just stop at 0 decibel. And then also sometimes I also like to add a little fruity limiter on there, because that can also make your 808 smack a little bit harder. So how I do this is I just turn the attack, the release and the sustain down, because otherwise it will sound very awful. But then I just turn the gain up a little bit sometimes, and now it's gonna be a little bit crispier. But that's it. So thank you for watching. I hope this was useful. And if you liked the video, then be sure to smash like and subscribe, because that will make me very happy. And also check out this video where I show you 5 FL Studio tricks. Peace out.